Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars Happy Hour is presented by the St. Johns River Water Management District. And now, a guy who'd like nothing more than to just sit around the house late at night waiting for the ball to drop, J.P. Shattuck.
And welcome in. It is Jaguars Happy Hour on this Thursday, December 28th. We've got 2 hours of Jaguars football ahead. Coming up, it's Week 17. The Panthers and the Jaguars coming up here at the bank, the final home game of the regular season. The Jaguars on the brink of something, either the playoffs or watching them on TV. They're trying to stop the slide. A 4-game losing skid for the Jags. We'll hear from the head coach, Doug Pederson, joining us in studio at 5 o'clock on the Jaguars Radio Network for the Doug Pederson Show. We'll get his thoughts on everything going on this week, of course. And we'll also hear from Fred Taylor. I caught up with him earlier today. He is a Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist for the first time for the class of 2024. We'll hear his reaction to hearing the news and how he found out. A lot of text messages for Fred. That's coming up at 5 o'clock. Jaguars Happy Hour brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving. We're on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. The Panthers-Jaguars game presented by Johnson & Johnson. The makers of AccuView brand contact lenses, making vision possible. Proudly based in Jacksonville. And visit jjvision.com. Jeff Lageman with me here in studio at the Miller Electric Center. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, JP.
How the heck are you?
I'm doing good, man. It's the holiday season.
Yeah, that's the good thing.
You act like that's the only good thing.
Oh, there's not a lot of cheer around here.
I'm not sensing any optimism in your voice, JP. I mean, come on, man.
Well, I mean, it's
first place in the AFC South, 2 games to go, big game at home against the fellow expansion team, Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
It's the worst team in football.
Yes.
I like our chances.
Yes.
I like it.
Okay. Well, I mean, on paper, yes, sure. You should play well against this team. However, they aren't played on paper. Last I checked, and they are played on the grass. And in the last month, the Jaguars on the grass have been bad.
It hasn't been good. And if they don't fix the amount of giveaways that they're allowing teams to get, then it's going to be a tough game to play against the Carolina Panthers. In the 4-game losing streak, you've given the ball away 10 times. And if you want to look to reason number 1, that's at the top of the list. You can't turn the ball over that much and expect to win. It's just not going to happen. And it continued this past game. An interception early in the ball game. Supposedly there was a lack of communication on that play. I don't know if it actually impacted or was the cause of the interception. I don't believe it was. But then you ended up having 3 more in the course of the game, 3 more giveaways. You had a fumble and a fumble by trusted guy Evan Ingram. Can't do that.
Nope.
I had another interception on an overthrown ball trying to get Evan Ingram across the middle. You had a fumble by Trevor Lawrence in the pocket. He tried to pull the ball back in for some reason, and I don't know why, because the throw was there. He should have just let the ball go to Tim Jones, who was running a little crossing route. But that's the disappointing thing, is that you're turning the ball over as an offense, and defensively you get the impression that sucks the energy out of that side of the ball too, and they can't let the energy on the offense or the performance of the offense impact their performance.
Health of the quarterback is also a priority this week. A right AC joint sprain in his throwing shoulder. And
ooh, that hurts.
He has not practiced, at least in the public time today, the media.
You ever have one of them?
I don't know.
I have.
I haven't had it diagnosed, I guess.
I can tell you it happened. It was in the Meadowlands, and I was coming in on the quarterback and had to dive over one of my fellow defensive linemen. And I dove over and landed on my arm, very similar to how Trevor did. And I want to say it was like a grade 2 sprained AC joint, whatever you want to call it. Extremely painful. I mean, extremely painful. I mean, you couldn't even barely lift your arm to put your deodorant on after the game. And I kept playing, but I mean, I had to, had to shoot it up every week, so shooting it up. And it got worse to the point at the end of the season, I had to go in and have a surgery on that AC joint, and they did what they call an AC resection, which they basically go in with a saw and cut the end of your collarbone off in that joint, I guess, to create more space.
That sounds pleasant.
So for a quarterback, this is going to be and I don't know what grade he has. I know there's grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. 3 is obviously the worst. 1 is the least. I don't know where his AC sprain falls in the category. But I can tell you, just like a pitcher, a quarterback has to have all components of the mechanical system working to be accurate. And if a fingernail is a little off, or you got a little sprain of a finger on the throwing arm or the shoulder, it's going to be tough to play. So this is not an ankle. This is not a knee where you can maybe gut it out a little bit, brace it up, tape it up kind of a thing, because this is directly related to throwing the football.
And, I mean, the other part of throwing mechanics in baseball, if something in your throwing arm or motion is hurt, then you have the tendency at times to overcompensate, and you can hurt some other things in the throwing motion.
You could.
Lower extremity or something. That has happened, especially in pitching and baseball a lot.
That could happen as well.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that I worry about is this offense has become so quarterback passing centric, focused, whatever you want to call it. This is not a good place to be. Okay, you're not performing well on offense. You're not scoring a lot of points in the last 2 ball games. Your quarterback has a shoulder. Your offense has been throwing the football constantly. You're not running the ball well. Your offensive line needs to perform better in run blocking and pass protection. It's not a good place to be. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you this. Look, you got the worst team in football coming in here. The worst team in football, with a young quarterback who has a long ways to go to get better, to make his team competitive. And this is also, again, I brought this up before, this is your expansion brother. You're at home with everything on the line. If you lose this game, you could be out of the playoffs. Again, if you lose this game, you could be out of the playoffs.
The percentages go the wrong way in a hurry if you lose this one.
And
sure.
Am I
Can't
correct?
be eliminated this weekend. You cannot be eliminated.
Cannot be eliminated, but you can.
However, you can make it really hard.
Exactly, because if you lose and then Indianapolis and Houston win, your chances just go
I mean, the division's pretty much done because they play each other next week.
And that's the best chance to get in the playoffs, obviously, is winning the division.
So then it's down to that. Now, the other part of it is if you win and they both lose, the Jags are handing out hats and shirts after the game. Division champs.
Correct.
They can clinch.
Yes.
So it can go from one extreme to the other in a hurry.
It's a lot riding on this ball game. It's a lot riding on this ball game. And the other games, if you look, who does Indianapolis have? I wrote these.
Raiders.
Okay, they got the Raiders at Indianapolis, and Houston is at home against Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2 big ball games, and they're all going to be happening at the same time. They're all Sunday 1 o'clock kicks.
Yes, they are.
And then the last week, Houston is at Indianapolis for the final matchup. So the league has designed the schedule to have these divisional games at the end of the season for a reason. And is it not pure genius? Because it could come down to the last week of the season.
Oh, yeah. Did last year.
It certainly did.
I mean, come on.
Here at home against Tennessee with a win and get in scenario.
Jaguars Happy Hour. Jags fans want customized Jags furniture for your home? Check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. Zipchair, furniture for fans. We're on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. 5 o'clock, we'll have the Doug Pederson Show and hear from the Jaguars head coach. Well, we're talking a lot about the offense. Let's continue there. Cam Robinson back on the practice field this week, the left tackle. He missed, of course, 4 games early in the season with a suspension. PED suspension, and has been back and then out, and now he's back on the practice field this week.
Had a knee, right?
That's right.
Had a knee.
There's been a revolving left side of the offensive line.
Well,
but it's been the most consistent and the most successful when Cam Robinson has been on the field.
Well, the record says so. I think they'll have 1 loss when he's been in the lineup, which is amazing. But let's kind of focus in just for a second here before we talk about Cam, about where they're at right now with this offensive line as far as on the left side, because Walker Little has played and he's playing hurt. And if you watch the film, you can see that the hamstring is not 100% yet. okay, and give him credit. He's gutting it out, okay? So you give a player credit for playing hurt because availability is everything. At left guard, Ezra Cleveland has been playing the last 2 weeks, and you can see that he's kind of playing like a peg leg. He's playing hurt. So can they get better this week to say, okay, look, Cam, you've got another week to kind of get back up to speed? I don't know that. We'll see. But Ken, if those guys are not going to be better this week, or when I say those guys, both Walker and Ezra, okay, can you do something different there? I don't know. Or if, let's say, Ezra's still bad and Walker Little's getting better and Cam's available, can Walker go to guard and then Cam play left tackle? I think there's some options there, and I don't know what's going to happen exactly, but I think if you can get some of Cam's energy, if he has that energy, okay, when I say the energy, because you're not going to have energy unless you feel good. If he feels good and he has his energy, he helps this football team right away. And I think that he will play left tackle. And then you would say, okay, now what do we do? What do we do at left guard? If Ezra's not healthy and he's still peg-legging around, is Walker healthy enough to play guard? Well, maybe. Okay, maybe not. Maybe Ezra's better than Walker this week, and then Ezra stays at guard. So I don't know. But
or maybe they're both dinged up still and enough to sit them, and here comes Tyler Shatley in the fold.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of options.
There's plenty of options.
Or Blake Hance. I mean, there is options there.
Yep.
But here we go again, okay, because last week Doug talked about the lack of continuity with the offensive line contributing to the lack of performance. Well, here we go again, right? This is another change. And do they get better with this change? And that remains to be seen, but I can tell you this. They need to play better up front. They need to start being not so quarterback dependent, especially if Trevor Lawrence is not playing.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. But where's ETN at? Okay. How many rushing attempts did they have last week? I'm looking at the board.
Jeez, not good.
I'm looking at ETN's. ETN had 6 carries in that ball game. 6 carries.
Not good.
Tank Bigsby, 0. Ernest Johnson had 1. Okay. On a game in which your quarterback didn't even practice until Friday, is that the recipe for success? Probably not.
Yeah, running backs had 7 carries in the game against Tampa.
It didn't help that Tampa Bay came out and scored on every meaningful possession in the first half and then also the first 2 possessions of the second half.
I mean, right out of the gate. I mean, they had, a 13-play drive to start the game, right? Right down the field.
It was a 14-play, 69-yard drive.
Field goal
counting
drive.
The field goal.
But they were 3 or 4 on third downs. They kept it going, and they ran the clock, and they got a field goal. Okay, well, nothing after that for the Jags.
Well, and here's the hard part. Let's say you want to come out, okay, and hypothetical here. Okay, Trevor can't throw the ball well, or you got a backup quarterback in the game in C.J. Beathard. Well, what's the first thing that you would like to do? Ignoring past performance and numbers and everything else, what would you like to do?
I'd like to run.
I'd like to run the ball a little bit, right?
Probably run.
Okay, so let's say that you are going to come out and we're going to run the ball. We're going to be committed to the run.
We are running the ball.
What gives you confidence that you can?
Right now, not a whole lot.
That's the point. Can you reverse the results and the commitment of running the football in, what are we, week 16?
17.
17. Can you change it in week 17? Can you change the way that you play in 1 week, in week 17? That's hard to do. That's very hard to do. And here's the other thing. Mm-hmm. Last time I checked, there was a dude that's wearing number 95 for the Carolina Panthers on the other side of the ball. Okay, and last name is Brown. Okay.
Derek Brown you're talking about. From Auburn.
It should be Superman across the back of the nameplate because the dude is something else. Okay, Derek Brown, who is from the great school of Auburn. He was a first-round draft pick back in 2020. This guy is super strong. He is the best interior run defender that I have watched on film all year. Hands down. So they've got their hands full. And one guy in particular has got his hands full. And that's Brandon Sheriff. because Derek Brown doesn't flop sides, JP. Derek, remember back in the days when the Jaguars had Henderson and Stroud?
Yeah, sure.
Two studs. Those guys played left and right. They didn't flip-flop. It wasn't like one's a nose tackle and the other's a three technique, and they're going to flip based on strength call or anything of that nature, okay? I believe it was Stroud on the left, Henderson on the right. That's how it was going to be. Well, this week, Derek Brown is going to be on the defensive left side, so he's going to be on top of Sheriff, might be a little bit over to the inside shoulder of Anton Harrison, and then he's probably going to see a little bit of the center. And this is going to be a tremendous battle. If I'm the network, I'm putting a camera on that guy and see how he does against Luke Fortner and Brandon Sheriff, because this is the guy that can wreck a day.
We're on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. It's not really confidence building right there.
I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying that the challenge is large. You know, Carolina has a top 5 defense, and one of the reasons why they're ranked so high, a lot of people say, well, how can they be ranked high? Their offense doesn't score a lot of points, so a lot of teams aren't exactly aggressive with their defense.
And we'll get to that offense for the Panthers when we come back, how the Jaguars defend that. Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving.
Have you noticed? It's raining a lot in our area lately. That means you can give your sprinklers a break and save some money in the process. Lawns only need water up to twice a week, and that can come from rain. So before you run your sprinklers, remember to watch the weather and wait to water. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com/shadows. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium, because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbq.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
For us, treating cancer is personal. We're Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, and we know that every patient is unique. So you'll have a plan created by world-renowned doctors and tailored to your needs. And everyone here will support you every step of the way, so you're physically, emotionally, and spiritually strong for the journey. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Visit BaptistMDAnderson.com.
Don't get sacked by a no-name propane rookie this football season, Jacksonville. Draft an all-star and switch to AmeriGas, the official propane provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the homes and businesses who know it was always the Jags. Show off your Duval pride at your next tailgate with a Jaguars grill tank from AmeriGas. To find an AmeriGas Exchange location near you or to order a propane fill-up for your home or business, visit AmeriGas.com/Jacksonville-Jaguars or call 844-PRO-JAGS.
You get in situations like that where you feel, or you come away with a feeling that a team they were playing for the same things that we were playing for, right? And they did everything they needed to do to win the game, and we didn't. But yeah, you lean on the leadership council, the leaders of your team, lean on the coaches more, and just lock in and focus during the week and prepare for another game this Sunday.
That's Doug Pederson, of course, Jaguars head coach earlier this week. And welcome back to Jaguars Happy Hour, brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Jaguars Happy Hour on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube as well. A lot of folks in town this weekend for the Gator Bowl. Clemson, Kentucky.
Correct. I
tomorrow.
I saw some Kentucky and Clemson folks walking around outside earlier today. Plenty of them.
Should be a nice matchup. And, of course, the Panthers-Jaguars game coming up Sunday as well here at the Bank, the final Jaguars home game of the regular season. And the Panthers roll in here with just an awful record, but they played a solid game last week against the Packers, and the best game, I think, of the year for Bryce Young, the number 1 overall pick out of Alabama, and a guy who's been beat up and battered and knocked around in his rookie year. And you know what? They got a win a couple weeks ago against Atlanta in sloppy conditions, like 9-7 or something, and then they come and play hard against the Packers last week. So, all right, they're still out there. They're still slinging it around, and you give Bryce Young enough time, he's going to carve you up a little bit.
Well, I don't know about that.
He's got the ability.
I wouldn't go that far.
He's the number 1 pick for a reason.
I wouldn't go that far. Look, he's been.
You don't like him?
No, well, I mean, I like him eventually, but the reality is that his performance all year long has been lacking. I mean, there's a reason why Frank Reich got fired. It wasn't because Bryce Young was great. It was because Bryce Young wasn't looking very good, and the guy that was picked down in Houston is looking good.
True. And he's back today, by the way, off concussion protocol. C.J. Stroud you're talking about.
So, yeah, and look, Bryce Young is and JP, I'm not trying to criticize him. I'm just trying to be honest. His performance this year has not been great. He's a small-statured quarterback that has been struggling. And that's just a fact. And this past game was his best game as a pro. He had around 110 quarterback rating, which is very solid. And he put up 30 points, which was a season high for Carolina. But the reality is they're scoring about 15 points a game.
Yeah.
Okay, and a lot of the points that they're scoring has been at the end of ball games where they're just playing catch-up and the opponent has been up on them. And so how many points have they scored in a meaningful moment of the game? I don't know. But if the Jaguars get up early on Carolina, it would do two things. One, I think it would give this football team a little positive encouragement of where they are and what they're doing, which I think is critical. They need that, especially when you've lost 4 games in a row. But it would also allow some doubt to creep into the minds of the Carolina Panthers, who, by the way, are already probably starting to pack up their stuff for the offseason. So fast start is going to be imperative in this ball game. And Carolina has not been particularly good in the first quarter of ball games this year. They've scored an average of like 2.46 points a game in their first quarter. Okay, so if you're the Jaguars, you got to come out and try to get on the board quick to give yourself that encouragement and to give them a little bit of anxiety.
Is this one defensively for the Jaguars? Do you pressure him? Do you play it normal? I mean, how do you attack the Panthers' offense if you're the Jags' defense and Mike Caldwell?
Well, I think first and foremost, you look at the quarterback and then you look at his weapons. Last week with Mike Evans and Godwin, 2 legit dogs. I mean, I'm talking good players, arguably one of the best tandems in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. Okay, this week, does DJ Chark and Adam Thielen rank up there somewhere around Mike Evans and Godwin?
No.
We
don't really strike fear.
So
however, Chark will have a little extra something this week.
I mean, it's been
revenge game.
Been kind of a number of years since he's been here. I think that probably faded a little bit.
Anyway,
he's just trying to perform well to have a job for next year.
True.
So I think you can pressure a young quarterback in this situation because his ability to get rid of the ball in a timely fashion has not shown to be there. and the receivers that he has don't scare you. So, but here's the other thing. You got some issues that you need to clean up a little bit as well. Okay, last time I checked, Tyson Campbell didn't have a great game this past week.
Didn't finish the game.
Didn't finish the game for some reason.
Yeah.
Is it maybe letting him get rested up for the next week?
Whatever it was, he wasn't on the field.
What I saw
at the end of the game.
What I saw, Mike Evans took him to school a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you're getting taken to school, then you need to come home. Okay. So I think Tyson was taken out of that ball game because of that. Well, let's see if he can get a little bit better this week. It's been a while since he's played. He's had soft tissue injuries with the hamstring and the quad, and that's not easy to come back from. I'm not trying to make light of a situation. If the players get injured, it's not easy to come back, especially at that position. You're on an island, and you need to have your wheels, and if your wheels ain't running, sometimes it's hard to perform. Darius Williams on the other side, I got complete confidence in him. I think he's playing pretty well, one of the better corners in the league. And so you can match up with this Carolina team pretty good. So, yes, you can bring pressure and affect a young quarterback in Bryce Young, and I expect them to. I don't expect them to do it all the time because that's just not how this team they can't do that. Mm-hmm. But I will say this. The interior of the Jaguars' defensive line has been lacking all season long in productivity of affecting the passer. That's got to change this week. And here's why I say that. The center and the two guards for the Carolina Panthers are not great. Again, I'm going to repeat this. The center and the two guards for the Carolina Panthers are not great.
Okay.
You need to win at that positions or those positions. You got to win. The right guard for the Carolina Panthers, Nash Jensen, a rookie from North Dakota State, started like the last 3 or 4 games for them. I would bench the coach that said that he's going to start.
Wow.
He was that bad.
Aggressive.
The center for the Carolina Panthers, Bozeman. Now, look, I know he's an Alabama guy, JP. I don't want to get your feelings hurt.
I don't care.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't care.
He's not very good.
Okay.
Okay, the left guard, Cade Mace. Not very good.
Wow.
Tackles are okay. Okay. Tackles are okay. Ekwonu. And then at right tackle, Moten. Pretty good players. Not great players, but good players, solid players. But the inside, I mean, that's where you got to belly up to the bar and get some food.
Who we counting on? Who we counting on in the interior? Roy, Robertson, Harris.
Where's Roy at?
Foley, Fatukasi.
Got to see on the chest, right?
Yeah.
Come on, see.
Foley, Fatukasi.
Step it up.
Devon Hamilton.
Step it up. Hadn't been playing very well. I know Coach said he played a little bit better, but, I mean, look, the reality is that a little bit better is not where he needs to be. And he's still trying to fight back from injury. But, I mean, those guys, the guys that you mentioned, they've got to step up, okay? Because here's how it works. When you get into critical moments, your A players, the players that you've paid money to, okay, and I'm not saying it's about the money, but when you get paid to play,
professional football, yes,
that's what it is. You're
Absolutely.
paid to perform. When you have big moments, big games, your top players need to perform like top players. And that's not asking too much.
Put Josh Allen in that mix, too. I mean,
Josh kind of got stifled last week.
He had 1 tackle in the game.
Tristan Wirfs handled him.
And he hasn't had a sack since week 13, and he's still a sack away from tying Calais Campbell's single-season sack record for the Jags. Allen is at 13.5. The record's 14.5, and got to finish this season strong on a great note here. And
how about breaking the record at home?
He's had a fantastic season, and to finish it off the right way the last 2 weeks would be big for him.
Love to see him
for this team.
Get the season sack record at home in front of the home fans.
But on defense, he's probably the number one of those guys.
He is your top dog.
He's got to play big in this game. I don't care how good the tackles
are. Top dog. And look, I'm not trying to criticize him for his performance last week because he's been the one guy that week in and week out you have been able to depend on.
Yeah.
And sometimes the guy on the other side of the ball, he gets paid pretty well too.
It's true.
And Tristan Wirfs, by the way, is one of the best left tackles in football. Mm-hmm. He's really good football player. And Josh typically has a lot of power in affecting the pocket, kind of that speed to power where he's got inside power. Tristan Wirfs shut it down. Tristan Wirfs, shut it down.
Want to be that game wrecker? This is a game to wreck right here.
Okay. 95, 41. Want to make sure I get all these numbers right. 94, 23, 32, okay? 31. All these guys on defense, okay, that are your A players, got to play well. Got to play like A players. And on offense, we're going to see who's playing first.
Yeah, I guess we will.
It's a little bit of a question mark.
Yeah, it is a big one. PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jags, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. In a moment, Kai Stevens in studio with us. We'll get her thoughts on the week that has been around the Miller Electric Center ahead of Week 17. The Panthers and the Jaguars coming up Sunday at 1 o'clock. And Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving.
Have you noticed? It's raining a lot in our area lately. That means you can give your sprinklers a break and save some money in the process. Lawns only need water up to twice a week, and that can come from rain. So before you run your sprinklers, remember to watch the weather and wait to water. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
Jaguars fans, huddle up for the best defense against expensive car repairs, CarShield. Score big with the nation's #1 automotive protection company, CarShield. They offer affordable plans that cover over 6,000 parts and systems in your car, truck, or SUV. Don't miss any Jaguars action this season with a car breakdown. Call the MVPs at CarShield for their best coverage ever. Call 800-471-1223. 800-471-1223. Go Jags!
Unlock your potential at the University of North Florida. A top public university with more than 100 majors, UNF is #1 among state schools with the highest percentage of graduates employed in Florida. Affordable tuition, programs in high-demand fields, and faculty who care. Swoop into your future at UNF. Visit unf.edu to learn more.
Hey, Jags fans, are you tired of roof leaks raining on your parade? Don't worry, Universal Roof and Contracting has got you covered. Their expert team of roofers will get your roof back in the game so you can focus on cheering on the Jags. Locally owned and operated, they've serviced Florida homeowners for over 30 years. Visit universalroof.com to schedule your free estimate today. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
Headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, CSI Companies partners with leading organizations across the country to deliver workforce solutions. As a proud sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI crafts personalized operations to fuel the success of businesses, both big and small. Whether it's finding the right talent for a job or seamlessly managing a project from start to finish, CSI has over 3 decades of experience in getting the job done. This is your workforce solutions reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com.
Are you ready to elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans? Citrus Distillers, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is excited to announce the 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Now available at Total Wine and other participating retailers. Elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans. The 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Duval!
I think I've been blessed to where I do heal a little, quicker maybe than some people. And then just, our training staff does a great job, our medical team. I think we have great plans for coming back and, being able to get back quickly. I think they've done a great job of just, taking me through different protocols and strengthening, whatever it is, treatment, strengthening, all those things to stay on top of it. I think that's part of it too, is preparing your body a certain way to where you limit injuries, but when they do come up, you kind of minimize them. So I think it's a mixture of all those things.
That's the quarterback, of course, Trevor Lawrence earlier this week. And welcome back. It is Jaguars Happy Hour, brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving. J.P. Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. Panthers, Jaguars coming up in Week 17. 1 o'clock kickoff time at the bank. Fan appreciation game. Plenty going on during the game. We'll see if Trevor Lawrence is out there on the field. No word as of yet, but has not been out there, at least in the open portions of practice this week. The full injury report coming up in just a little bit. Kai Stevens joining us in studio now here on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. We are all the places, Kai. Good afternoon.
All of them. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too. And let's see if we'll see Trevor Lawrence. That's priority number one.
I know. This one feels a little bit different, at least to me. Just obviously it's his throwing shoulder, right? And with everything we've seen so far in terms of just what he's been dealing with injuries, I think at least this one just doesn't quite, it's different, right? It's your career, it's your throwing shoulder. You have to be careful with that sort of thing. And what we've seen in terms of him not doing great when he doesn't practice. He's just not, there's a lot of people that need to be involved physically doing it. You can be there and see it, but if you're not the one doing it, and what we've seen from him so far, I think he's someone that really benefits from getting those reps in practice, and we've seen the disconnect when he does not practice.
Reps are everything. I mean, he's still a young quarterback, and sometimes we forget that.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. His receivers are young too.
Yep.
So if you've got a quarterback who, let's say, is in year 8, 9, 10, okay, if he misses a little practice time, not that big of a deal. But Trevor, 24 years old, year 3, year 2 in the system, those reps are still incredibly important, especially with receivers that he hasn't had a lot of reps with.
Yeah, I mean, Ridley's 29, but, time on task is not as, he's been out for a couple of years. And then this season is, trying to get things going. And without him on the field together a lot on the practice field, then it a lot of times doesn't translate to the game, whether it's a route, whether it's the timing of a throw, just little nuances of this offense. It's hard to show up on game day, and then all of a sudden they disappear on game day. They might have gone well when they've had a chance to practice, and that's the other concern, is that they aren't making it to the game field, Kai.
I think sometimes we forget, or at least the last month or so, we've been caught up in that losing streak and kind of the mentality of all of that. But even when this team was winning, we were constantly saying, oh, the offense is going to get there. They're going to get there at some point. We never really saw them fully functioning, full blast, great running game, good game from Trevor, wide receiver. We never saw what we were hoping to see in the preseason. So now that they've gotten off task and they've lost 4 games in a row, it's even more blatant that they had to figure that out, and they never really did. So now without that, and then without your quarterback practicing, I think that is an issue there. That's why sometimes I feel like CJ Beathard might be a little bit better for you this week. I don't know if he will end up playing or not. I'm sure they'll make that decision on Sunday, but he has a lot of reps with a lot of the players that you're relying on at this point, right? The Parker Washingtons of the world. He has a decent connection with Ridley from when they've been practicing. Tim Jones, whoever's going to be out there, he always is doing reps with them anyway. And now that they're all in first team, they're doing reps, of course, this week. So I feel like that might be the best chance for you this weekend. But obviously, if Trevor can go, he will go.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
This one feels a little bit different, and maybe I say this every time that he gets hurt, but this one feels a little different.
Throwing shoulder. That's
I thought it was different going back. Okay, he had the knee, and when he had the knee, I'm like, yeah, he probably will be okay. Okay, but then the ankle, I was like, I don't think he's going to play. Well, now this I think is even more different than the ankle, just because it's a throwing shoulder. So I don't know how this is going to play out. I do know one thing: if I'm the offensive line coach and I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm developing a game plan that's going to be more focused on the big guys up front doing better, running the football to take the pressure off of whoever's playing quarterback. And I'm kind of in agreement with Kai, and then I think maybe you could be a little bit better with CJ. And the reason I say that, if he's taking the reps and Trevor's had knee, ankle, shoulder now,
and
how
concussion,
good
he was
can
out.
Be?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't expect him to be Superman. I mean, the guy for Carolina that's got 95, he's Superman. Trevor's not Superman.
Eric Brown.
So
right.
This is going to be an interesting week, I think. And how do the Carolina Panthers approach it? How do they view this? Do they prepare, or are they preparing for Trevor, or are they preparing for CJ, or do they just say, you know what, we're just preparing for their offense? I don't know. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, because at some point, Beathard, can he make the same kind of throws that Trevor could make in this offense if called upon? There's probably some that he is limited on. Let's put it that way, right?
But do you need him this week necessarily?
Right. Is this the week where you can pare it down and run the ball a bunch? Or, hey, if all of a sudden Carolina's up 14 and then that goes out the window again?
Well, look, here's the fact. CJ's a backup. Okay,
for a reason.
So he can't do everything that Trevor can do when Trevor's healthy. And here's the other thing I will say. I'll take CJ Beathard, okay, over a young, inexperienced, first overall pick quarterback right now.
Bryce Young.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right now. I'll take CJ. Okay, we're trying to figure out who's going to win. Okay, Jaguars with CJ Beathard, if let's say he's starting this week against Bryce Young. I'm taking CJ Beathard. I am.
Okay.
Bryce Young has not impressed me that much. Here's the fact of the matter. In the last 10 games, the Carolina Panthers have had over 300 yards twice. Everybody, since he had 30-point game and it came back and made a game competitive against the Green Bay Packers, like, oh, yeah, Bryce Young's arrived. He's great. No, he's had over 300 yards, but twice in the last 10 games. His best output actually was earlier in the year when he had his head coach still. Well, then now the owner went off and fired the head coach, who was the offensive mind, because he can't control his temper. And he's mad because his quarterback's not playing as well as the quarterback down in Houston. So the Carolina Panthers are in a little bit of a train wreck. I don't want to say dumpster fire, but it's a bit of a wreck right now. Don't lose to a team that's in a little bit of a wreck.
Yeah.
What's the difference in a train wreck and a dumpster fire? I mean, it's
dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire is everything. Way worse. Way worse.
Have you ever been on a train that's been in a wreck? I don't think you want to be on that.
No.
But I also don't want to be in a
dumpster
that's on fire.
No.
Yeah.
Either one's unpleasant.
Yes. JP, in the rank of things, dumpster fire is like way worse than a train wreck. Yeah.
You're not riding that train, apparently. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tonight, Jaguars All-Access Television, Strings Sports Brewery. If you're in town for the Gator Bowl, go check them out tonight. It's just up the road in Springfield, about a mile, 2 miles away. Quick little Uber drive or a cab or whatever. Get up there and take the rental car, go. And
let me make a recommendation.
Yes.
The Alabama white
wings,
chicken wings.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm surprised they have any left, Jeff, because I feel like you're getting them every single week.
Here's true story. So last week I talked to the wife, before the show, and she's like, what do you want to do for dinner? I said, how about if I bring some of these wings home I was telling you about? And she's like, okay, that'd be fine. So I bring them home, and literally we never left the kitchen counter.
You just ate them right out of the box.
Eating them right out of the box, okay? So tonight, what does she want for dinner?
Wings.
She wants wings, but she said, can you ask for just flats? And can you have them? Are you
a
flats
woman
too?
after my own heart.
You flats?
Tara gets it, yes.
And she said, can you have them put a little side container of the Alabama white sauce?
Wow.
So that's what we're having for dinner tonight. I can't
flats
wait.
Only.
She's hooked. She's
Good
hooked.
stuff. The best wings I've ever had.
So the show's at 7 o'clock tonight. Jaguars All Access. Who's the guest tonight?
Antonio Johnson is with us tonight.
Rookie defensive back.
Yes. I talked to him for off the field last week. He's so great, and he's very a lot of the rookies in this class are really smart. He's someone that he was hurt a little bit in training camp, right? So he kind of worked his way in. And I think that's to his benefit because obviously they wanted to kind of use him as the nickel and work him in that way. And I think by being hurt in the beginning, he was able to kind of absorb the being a pro section while he wasn't playing. And then now that he's playing more and kind of, he started last week, like kind of working his way in there. I think that's really helped his progression this year. I've been impressed with what he's been able to do and kind of just his maturity so far. And obviously he was someone that kind of dropped in the draft, right? Because
for some reason, totally unknown to me. Guy's a stud.
People thought he was going to go a lot earlier. So I think he's been great. And I think he'll be good to talk to.
He was a safety at Texas A&M that played nickel. And the NFL, if you're a safety and you can play a little bit of corner or nickel, I mean, you got value. And for some reason, he dropped. The Jaguars were able to get him in the 5th round. And good to go back to training camp a little bit. I remember in training camp I was going, who's that guy 26? Pretty good. And so I started to ask some of the coaches, and I was like, am I seeing what I'm seeing? And they were like literally so complimentary of him in every facet. Defense, special teams, work ethic, everything. And I was like, wow. And Heath was totally fired up about him on special teams. And he's
Farwell,
Yep.
he's their gunner on punt team. And by the way, the big loss this week, Daniel Thomas going down with the broken arm.
Yep.
I don't know who they're going to replace him with. But Antonio Johnson is very similar to Kyle Hamilton of the Baltimore Ravens. And now I'm not trying to put him up into that class yet. But he's got a lot of similarities, the traits, the length, the speed, the ability to play nickel. And I'm excited about him.
He physically already looks like he's kind of there. And then obviously the more time he gets, the more reps he gets. I've been impressed with his play so far. This
might be the best fifth-round draft pick in a long time here. Telvin Smith was a fifth-round pick.
Yeah.
Telvin is in that class because Telvin was fantastic for a number of years.
Started for a long time. Kai, hey, well done. Enjoy strings tonight.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, Kai Stevens joining us in studio. That's 7 o'clock at String Sports Brewery tonight. We're back with the injury report, and then at 5 o'clock it's the Doug Pederson Show. We'll hear from the Jaguars head coach in studio and Fred Taylor on his Hall of Fame finalist nod. That's all coming up. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving.
Have you noticed? It's raining a lot in our area lately. That means you can give your sprinklers a break and save some money in the process. Lawns only need water up to twice a week, and that can come from rain. So before you run your sprinklers, remember to watch the weather and wait to water. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com. You know what you expect at an airport hotel. A bed, a shuttle that's never on time, and if you're lucky, a day-old Danish on your way out the door. But at the Crowne Plaza Jacksonville Airport, you get a renovated lobby, restaurant, and bar, and 10,000 square feet of luxurious space for memorable family and business events. So stop by, stay a while, and expect to be surprised. Crowne Plaza Jacksonville Airport. Book online or call 1-877-2-CROWN. That's 1-877-227-6963. Hey Jags fans, stop dreaming of creating your game day fan cave and build the Jaguars den of your dreams with ZipChair. When it comes to maximum comfort, ZipChair.com is the only place for officially licensed Jaguars recliners, sofas, bar stools, office and gaming chairs, all featuring high quality embroidered Jags logos. Crack open a few cold ones in the comfort of a Zip Chair and make your home the place to be on game day. Head over to ZipChair.com and save 20% today. Use code JagsRadio at checkout. ZipChair.com, furniture for fans.
Hey, Florida. This is Luke Fortner, center for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all know the rush of a good game, but there's no winning with aggressive driving on our roads. It's all about strategy and control. Embrace the space with the driver in front of you, go the speed limit, and use that blinker. These are the moves that make us all champions of the road. Target Zero is our game plan for safer roads and is a testament to our teamwork and dedication. Join me and let's get everyone home safely every single day.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguar sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguar sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguar sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
I've had conversations with players the last couple of days, and guys are still locked in and focused, and they know. Listen, I might have said this after the game. I mean, it's not like they're going out there and trying to, make these mistakes, right? I mean, we just have to be more aware of what's happening. And as coaches, we got to keep continuing to coach them up and put our players in positions to be successful on game day. So I don't feel like they're tuning out at all.
There you have it, the head coach, Doug Pederson, on Tuesday, and welcome back. It is Jaguars Happy Hour, brought to you by the St. Johns River Water Management District. Florida's water, it's worth saving. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, Jaguars Happy Hour on 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. We'll hear from Doug in about 10 minutes on the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network. In this very studio, we'll get his thoughts on the week that has been and what's ahead for the Jags. A huge ball game, obviously. The Jaguars at 8-7, trying to fend off the Texans and the Colts in the AFC South, trying to fend off themselves, too. That's been a big reason for the 4-game losing skid for the Jags up to this point. Time for the injury report presented by Baptist Health and the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, the official sports medicine provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's get right to it, Logs. And same exact report as yesterday, in fact. And we'll start with C.J. Beathard, full both days with a left shoulder issue. Tyson Campbell with a finger issue now, limited both days. Andre Sisco still with a groin issue, limited both days of practice, the safety. Offensive lineman Ezra Cleveland with a knee issue, limited both days of practice. Zay Jones with a knee and a hamstring issue, limited both days. Trevor Lawrence has not practiced either day this week. Walker Little, hamstring, limited both days, the tackle. Tackle Cam Robinson's window to practice open this week with a knee injury. He is limited both days, but he seemed positive in the locker room talking to him yesterday. Brenton Strange, tight end, foot injury, limited both days. That's the Jaguars list.
Just a little side note here. The last time that Cam Robinson had to have or did have 1 week of practice prior to starting, the results were pretty good. Remember, the game in London was his first start.
Yeah. The second game in London.
Exactly, the game against Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I was very concerned about his performance and what it would be because he wasn't around practicing, wasn't able to get the reps until just that week. So how would his performance be? He played really well.
I remember there was a sack fumble right before halftime, right, from the left side. That
but
was like
overall,
the one blemish.
I mean, I thought he was really solid.
That's right.
Really solid, and he's physical. So
he ran the ball.
Yeah, with a veteran guy, I think you kind of got a little bit of history to kind of look back on and say, okay, how might he play under this circumstance? Well, he's been there, and it's been pretty good. So, and also the fact that Walker Little's been hobbled a little bit. If Cam can be ready to play this week, I would feel really good about that. I think that would help this offense out. Cam seems to have a little bit of energy that he brings to this offense, especially when it kind of needs a little bit of swagger, a little bit of leadership, which is, I think every team, when you're in a 4-game losing streak, you always need a little bit of extra leadership, and I think he's going to provide some of that.
It'd be nice to see. There's no doubt about that, and they just got to get something jump-started here on this offense, no matter who's under center, and that's obviously the big question of the week, Trevor Lawrence or C.J. Beathard, and Lawrence has not practiced this week with a shoulder injury, a throwing shoulder.
So C.J. Beathard, if he plays, okay, looking at his numbers, 2-10 as a starter. His last start was on January 3rd of 2021. And that was when he was with the San Francisco 49ers. He lost. His last win was the day after Christmas in 2020, which he beat Arizona at Arizona. And he had a 125 quarterback rating. He threw 3 touchdowns, did not have an interception. That's the kind of game you'd like to see out of him if he ends up being the guy. But it's encouraging that he has the ability to have a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to, light up the stat sheet. You just got to
No, but I'm all for it.
That'd be great. I'm sure he'd be all for it, too.
For it.
We'd take it. I'm not going to send it back. But, hey, get this offense moving a little bit and lean on some of these other guys to help you.
Hey, real quick, I didn't hear you say Anton Harrison on the injury report.
He's not on the injury report.
Okay, left the game against the Bucks, had a back, kind of glute, whatever it was.
Yeah, he's not on the
not
list.
on the report. Okay, that's positive. That's
a good sign.
And here's why I say that's positive. Brian Burns is an outside edge rusher for the Carolina Panthers, and he is their leading sacker, I believe. What does he have, like 6 sacks or something like that? Because they don't have
somewhere in there.
Ton of sacks. Yeah, okay, I got the number right here.
6.5, I think.
6. No, he's got 6.
Yeah.
Luvu, the inside linebacker, who, by the way, is a dynamic blitzer. I mean, really good blitzer, is second on the team with 5.5. But the reason I bring that up about Anton Harrison, because Burns is their best pass rusher. Burns stays on the defensive left side. So that's the matchup that Anton Harrison would draw as their best pass rusher. And I think Anton's athleticism, footwork can totally negate Brian Burns. I feel totally confident in that matchup this week. Feel really good about that.
I like that.
I don't feel good about a couple other matchups.
Well, I mean, we don't have to
but
go
I feel
down
really
that.
good about that.
We can go down that path next if you'd like.
Well, we can, but just wanted to mention that because, I mean, look.
Yeah, it's good.
Last week left the game.
He's on the list.
Offensive line hurt.
It's great.
Not on the list. That's all positive stuff.
It is the final home game of the regular season, and it's all about Jags fans this week. Join us in celebrating the best fans in the NFL this Sunday for the Fan Appreciation Game. Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000 and secure your seats now for the Panthers and the Jaguars at the 1 o'clock kickoff time. And the Jaguars trying to snap this 4-game skid and remain in first place in the AFC South. A win combined with the Texans and Colts loss Sunday, the Jaguars would secure the AFC South title and a playoff berth this week. Either way, if they win and then win next week, they secure the division, no matter if the other teams win on Sunday. But it can be clinched as early as this week. Or the Jags could be in a precarious situation in the AFC playoff race. If they fall this week and both those teams win, the division is out because those two teams, the Texans and Colts, play each other next week. And that would be a de facto championship game in the AFC South. And then you're hoping for a wild card spot, likely the number 7 seed.
Do you think that's possible? Let me just hypothetically, let's say that they are going for that wild card spot. Who are the other teams that are in that race?
Okay, so we're looking
because I don't think it's likely.
It's interesting, right? Because you have tiebreakers against some of these teams that
some
would
of
be
them
in play. Well, it'd be the
Pittsburgh.
other division teams, right? Whoever loses the division, in the case if it's the Texans and Colts, the Jags have a tiebreaker against them, right? Pittsburgh, Jaguars have the tiebreaker against the Steelers because they beat them head-to-head.
Right.
Cincinnati's also 8-7. So, okay, and then Buffalo's 9-6. If they falter, they're kind of in it, but the Jags have the tiebreaker against Buffalo. But
they're not in 6. It doesn't matter.
I mean, but if for some reason the Jaguars, that's kind of where they are right now.
Yeah, because the teams that are, basically, it's going to be interesting now. Here's the fact.
Cleveland's 10-5. Yeah, hey.
Here's the fact of the matter, JP. You got to beat the worst team in football at home.
Yes, we're aware of that.
You can talk about all the other scenarios, but, here's the thing. Do you even want to talk about that if you can't beat the worst team in football at home? I just say that, look, you take care of your own business.
Figure it out.
Take care of your own business.
Then it don't matter.
And if you end up losing 5 in a row down the stretch, okay, and you lose to the worst team in football, you don't deserve to go, probably.
I mean, in theory, though, they could still go, right? I mean, that's possible.
Possible.
And you always want to go.
Oh, absolutely. You always want to go. Because if you go, you're going to have a home playoff game. And you want to see the division. If you win the division.
Right.
You want to see the fans have that. But the other thing you would like to do is generate a little momentum going into the playoffs. So here you go. Here's an opportunity. Okay, first game out, you got the worst team in football. You got them at home. Okay, last game of the year. Okay, there's an opportunity to go on the road and beat a division rival at their place to generate more momentum going into the playoffs.
We are moments away from the Doug Pederson Show. We'll get the head coach's thoughts about it in studio in just moments. Thanks to Kai Stevens. For Jeff Lageman, I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for listening to Jaguars Happy Hour.
Welcome to the Doug Pederson Show. Brought to you by Fresh from Florida. JP Shadrick and former Jaguar Jeff Lageman discuss the latest Jaguars news with the head coach. The Doug Pederson Show starts right now.
And welcome in the Doug Pederson Show, presented by Fresh from Florida from the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman and Jaguars head coach Doug Pederson in studio with us as always. Good to see you. Hey, the sky's not falling, right? The Jaguars are still in command of this thing. And as early as this week, you could clinch the division title, a win and a couple losses from the other teams. I know you're not going to want to hear that right now. It's all about the Jaguars, though, right?
It is, and we've got enough on our plates to work on and to improve upon. And so we, it just comes down to just us taking care of us and doing our jobs and taking care of our business and focusing internally, improving as a football team. And if we do that, then good things are going to happen for us.
And part of that is bouncing back from a game that was disappointing in all aspects. I mean, you've been a part of that, I'm sure, as a player. I've been a part of that as a player, and you've been a part of that as a coach. How do you kind of regain the focus to bounce back from a game like that?
I think the number one thing is to put it behind you as fast as possible. Obviously, given the players obviously Christmas Day and Tuesday off to kind of get away from us and us away from them, and really come back the next day and say, hey, listen, guys, our goals are still right in front of us. The goal to win the AFC South is still right there, and we've got to do everything we can to figure out how to win a game and try to win the AFC South. So, I'll tell you this, the guys are still talking the right things. They're still believing the right things. There's no finger pointing. If anything, it's bringing us a little bit closer, and I think that's a good thing this time of year.
Well, and getting closer is you can't do it unless you're close. Do you bring in kind of that leadership group that you have on this football team to talk to them kind of before the week starts, or do you just kind of do that throughout the week?
You do it kind of throughout the week, and you kind of let it. For me, it's kind of organic, right? You just kind of let it naturally happen, and our guys, our leadership group, when I met with them on Wednesday, again they were saying the right things, and they know that as a team and as individuals, we got to play better. Coaches know that we have to coach better, and we got to prepare our players better. And it's not a bunch of major change. It's just focus on the details, focus on some of the little things, some of the simple things that keep, creeping up in ball games, and making sure that we take that to the practice field and we work on them. So, but when it comes to the players, just kind of letting that happen naturally has been the best practice because, again, the best teams I've been a part of, player or coach, are the ones that are led by the team.
Hey, Coach Doug Pederson with us. The latest on quarterback Trevor Lawrence now. It's the fourth time he's been on the injury list this season. He's come back to play the next week the last three times, but AC joint sprain, throwing shoulder. How different is this one? What have you seen from Trevor this week? And have you had one of those injuries before?
I haven't had necessarily this type of injury. I've had soreness in my shoulder from throwing and different things, but not like this. And the challenge is that it's sore, right? And it's on your throwing shoulder, and you don't do a lot of throwing during the week, and so that kind of hurts you just a little bit because as a quarterback you need your arm to throw. So everything else is fine with Trevor. He does feel good other than that, and it's kind of a day by day situation. He's feeling better every single day, getting all the mental reps and staying, focused and engaged in practice. But, again, the biggest thing is just, he's not getting the throws that he needs to necessarily prepare for a game.
One of the biggest things from looking from afar, which is what I do, how do you get this offense, because we're talking about the quarterback position here, and it's obviously so incredibly important in the NFL, but how do you make your offense a little bit less dependent upon that quarterback? In other words, to take some of the pressure off of that position to be able to have success, maybe if it's a little off or if he's not playing, that you're better.
I think the biggest thing we have to do to take pressure off any quarterback, and especially ours, is you got to run the football, and you've got to be committed to running to the football, and that comes from myself and Press and Phil Rauscher and the guys that are in that putting those run plans together. That one, that we have the right plays, right, that our players are good at, and two, as play callers and decision makers, that we stay committed to that. It may not look pretty early in a game, but you have to stick to the run. And, you can't obviously turn the football over. It kind of gets you out of your rhythm, right? It gets you out of the flow of what you want to get done through your game plan. And then the other thing, I think the other aspect of that is putting the quarterback on the edge, putting him on the perimeter, getting some movement throws, some simple little completions where the ball's coming out of his hands, things are right in front of him. All those things can help spark your offense and get on a roll.
Coach, a lot of that starts on the offensive line, though, obviously. And Cam Robinson was talking in the locker room yesterday. We know he brings a different kind of intensity, energy to the line. What is the state of affairs up front right now?
Yeah, I mean, we're excited to get Cam back. It's a good time for Cam to come back. Yeah. We are a little beat up on that left side with Walker and Ezra, and both those guys have played extremely well for us. But we are excited to get Cam back out there, and as you mentioned, he brings a level of enthusiasm and physicality to the offensive line, and that'll be a good thing, moving forward. And then with Ezra and Walker too, and then with Tyler Shatley, we got to just see how that all kind of plays out this week to see who's going to take that left guard spot. But all three of those guys are veteran players. They've all played in there. They know exactly what to expect. And so, we're still in pretty good hands with that. But we do, love the fact that Cam's back.
To do that this week, you've got to go through a guy that wears number 95 for the Carolina Panthers. Watching the film this week, Doug, Derek Brown, he doesn't get a lot of fanfare because he doesn't have the sack numbers, but I don't know if there's a better, more dominant player in the run game that I've watched all year long.
I agree with you. This guy he's fun to watch. Even when you're game planning against him, he's fun to watch. He's very powerful. He's quick. Got a great first step coming off the ball. He can go through you and he can go around you. But as you mentioned, there may not be the necessary the pass rush numbers, but in the run game, he is a physical, dominant guy that can take 330-pound men and dump them on their ear with relative ease. And it's impressive to see, obviously. And so our guys up front know that and will be prepared, for Sunday and do everything they can to slow him down.
It's one of those games Brandon Sheriff's going to have to buckle that chin strap just a little bit
just
tighter.
a little bit tighter. That's right. That's right.
Head coach Doug Pederson with us. On the other side, Bryce Young, 5'10", 204 pounds, maybe 204 pounds. But over the last couple of weeks, it seems like he's battled through this season. It's been a tough stretch for them there. But he's still out there. He's fighting, and he's putting together, a little better performances. What do you like about Bryce Young as a quarterback?
The biggest thing is he's improving each week. And you watch what they did against Green Bay and really these last couple of weeks, and you're seeing the improvement and the consistency in the offense just a little bit more. He's not necessarily turning the ball over like it was earlier in the season, and they're just doing things. They're kind of simplifying some things for him, and again, defensively, they're kind of keeping teams or keeping them in these football games, and creating some, not so many takeaways, but they're creating some punt situations and getting the ball back to their offense. And, it's one of the things with Bryce too is, if you're going to rush him, you better be careful because he can escape the pocket. He's very mobile. He throws well on the run, and he's doing some of that. And he is getting help though from the defenses he's playing. There are some penalties and costly mistakes that defenses are allowing their offense to stay on the field, but they are consistently getting better play out of all of their guys, and Bryce has been one of them. And
it was his best performance as a pro yet. The season high points scored for them, but traditionally they haven't been scoring a lot of points. Does that change your mindset as a coach going into this ball game? Hey, look, they're not scoring a lot of points, and we need to play a style of X because they're not scoring a lot of points. Do you have that mindset?
Well, you do think about that, obviously, but listen, again, it goes back to us, and we've got our own problems to fix, and anytime you can create a 3-and-out or create a takeaway, from our defense, right, give our offense an opportunity to stay on the field, those are good things, and so we've got to focus a little bit more on that. We haven't been able to create the takeaways that we did early in the season. We're obviously giving the ball up way too much. We got to take care. If we can just kind of control those two elements right there, the giveaway takeaway ratio, at least that gives you a chance to win games.
Yeah, I think you guys have had 10 giveaways in the last 4 games, which you've lost. When you've lost like 4 games in a row and you're trying to get back on the winning side of things, how important is a fast start, particularly against a Carolina team that really has only scored about 2 points in the first quarter all year long.
Yeah, you look at what Green Bay did. They jumped out to a pretty good lead last week, I think 14 points, right away, and teams have done that. And then, of course, Carolina comes back and works himself back into these football games. And it's something that I've really talked to our team about these last couple of weeks is starting fast, whether it's defense or offense. Offense getting points on that opening drive, and defense creating either a 3-and-out or a punt situation in that first drive. And, we haven't been very good there. And really that kind of takes over again in the third quarter, right? That we talk about that middle 8 all the time and creating points there, and we haven't done a good job of that as well either. So those are areas that we look at and focus on. And but starting fast is something that's critical to the success. I think it's 80+% with teams that are going into a halftime with leads, win games. That's what you want to do, right? You want to score as many points in the first half, take that lead into the second half, and that's when your defense can take over.
All right, Coach, final thought. Final home game of the regular season. Gotta have it moment for this team, right?
It is. It's a gotta have it moment. I think back just to a couple years ago when the Jags were on the flip side. Indy was rolling in here with a must win to get in the postseason, and the Jags were the spoilers. And it's something that our team is very aware of. I made it aware to them the other day, and but everything's flipped, right? And we're the team that is out in front, and Carolina can come in here and treat this like a playoff game, and which we have to, and we have to, they have to as well, and. But just, again, we just have to continue to focus everything internally about us, minimize the mistakes, play good football, and, good things usually happen.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
Head coach Doug Pederson with us. The Panthers-Jaguars game presented by Johnson & Johnson. The makers of AccuView brand contact lenses are making vision possible. Proudly based in Jacksonville, visit jjvision.com. In about 20 minutes, Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist Fred Taylor joins us. This is the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network. Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com. The world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every single play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. You've worked hard for your money. So if you're ready to up your financial game, it's time to choose EverBank. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Earn your advantage at everbank.com/Jaguars.
Football and Miller Lite. Duval's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going well past postgame. Sunday night overtimes. Followed by Monday morning pride. Knocking on bar tops for luck. Kicking back on any given Sunday. You never forget the way some things taste. Jags football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Facing cancer takes a lot of determination, strength, and support. And you'll get it all at Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center. Determination from world-renowned doctors, giving you specialized treatment with cutting-edge technology and research. Strength and support from a dedicated team, caring for you completely, during and after treatment. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Appointments available at baptistmdanderson.com.
The Doug Pederson Show, presented by Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman from the Hyundai Studios at the Miller Electric Center ahead of the Panthers-Jaguars game in Week 17. Thanks to head coach Doug Pederson in the opening segment each and every week. And a lot to digest there. Quarterback situation up in the air. Trevor Lawrence has not practiced this week, Wednesday or Thursday, with a AC joint sprain in his right throwing shoulder, so Okay, C.J. Beathard's been taking the reps. That's happened a few times this season, and Trevor's been back out there on Sunday or the game day each short week, a couple short weeks where he's had to do it, and coming off the concussion last week. But hey, this has got to have a game. I mean, you got to have your best opportunity to go put together a winning performance. So I wonder what that could be, and I think that's the big question for the head coach this week,
Well, and I think Friday tells you a lot, just like it did last week. With a quarterback who you respect and that he can get ready to play a game by having essentially 1 day of practice, which he's been able to do in the past. Last year and this year, you feel confident. If he doesn't practice tomorrow, then I think your confidence is wavered a little bit. And you may say, well, maybe the best thing that we should do is to get by with CJ, and that's not trying to downgrade CJ or put him down in any way, okay? He's not the starter, okay? And I think that this team can win with CJ if he has to play. I think he's played well in relief, even though a lot of times when he's played, the games have not exactly been where you'd like it to be.
It's a nice way to say it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's easier. Like in Tampa with CJ's performance against Tampa, and his numbers were 11 of 15, 94 yards, a touchdown throw, a quarterback rating of 111.5.
Playing 10 yards off the ball. Like, it's a blowout.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
It's very different.
Yeah.
When the score at that point when he went in, he went in after the last score.
Big number to
that
little
was
number.
Ridley, so the score is 30-6.
Yeah.
You think Todd Bowles is going to play a tight defense when he's got a 24-point lead?
Felt worse than that, actually.
It did feel worse than that, but it wasn't. So it's different. And look, I think CJ's a good backup quarterback. I think he's a good backup quarterback. The one thing, if he has to play, and here's what makes me think that I don't know if Trevor's going to be able to go. And in his press conference yesterday, and me and you were talking about this a while back, and I'm going to find the exact quote. And he was asked, he said, on if he feels that he will play this week. And he said, I honestly can't even answer that question right now. Of course, I'll do anything I can to be out there and play, which he's tough as nails. Give him credit. This is a little unique because it's my throwing shoulder, which can make things a little more challenging as a quarterback. That right there tells me it's a little different. And when he says unique and he terms the thing unique and it's my throwing shoulder, because, I mean, first of all, he's speaking the truth, and Trevor is very honest and upfront. So I think CJ ends up playing this week, but I don't know. Again, I thought a couple weeks ago that he wasn't going to play with the high ankle.
He's leaping tall buildings with a single bound all of a sudden.
We watched him kind of the first part of practice on Thursday that week, and he was kind of gimping a little bit. And then we saw him kind of jog from one place to another. We were like, oh, my gosh, he kind of ran. And we're like, that's just for show, because then, he went in after that and he was done. And then Friday he came out and had a regular practice. I mean, this dude heals fast. He's young. He heals fast. Could he heal fast with an AC sprain in the shoulder? I don't know, but we'll see.
That'd be a heck of a turnaround for sure. Jags fans want customized Jags furniture for your home? Check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. ZipChair, furniture for fans. Coming up in about 20 minutes or so, we'll hear from Fred Taylor. I caught up with him this morning, the day after the announcement of the finalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2024. Freddie T, a part of that, and we'll hear from him in just a little while. The offensive line, though, with some possible changes again. We'll get to that next on the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
Eat like a Jag the Fresh from Florida way. Hi everyone, I'm Chef Justin. Head over to freshfromflorida.com and sign up for our loyalty club to unlock interactive perks available only to club members. It's all the great stuff you've loved about freshfromflorida.com and more. For club members, it's an interactive experience that will help you get the most out of your Fresh from Florida recipes. Enjoy all the benefits of being a member. Join the Fresh from Florida Club today.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Calling all Jags fans. Is your little one ready to become a junior Jaguar? Now through January 2nd, MyGate rewards loyalty members who buy 2 20-ounce Coca-Cola participating products will be entered to win one of 10 behind-the-scenes experiences at Everbank Stadium for your child. Plus, you'll earn a 10-cent rollback at the pump, a win every time. Fuel your child's dreams, your car, and your passion for the Jags with Gate, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
The Doug Pederson Show presented by Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. That's a fact. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. I made up that last part. But it is a fact that it tastes better when it's grown closer to home.
Oh, it always does.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
It's fresher.
It's from Florida.
Exactly
from
right.
Florida. Jaguars offensive line, homegrown, if you will, for the Jaguars offensive lineman, could be back in the fold this week. Cam Robinson has been around here for a long time, and he's seen some highs around here, obviously, 2 playoff runs, and seen some lows around here, and he has the type of temperament to kind of maybe will a group towards some better success up front. So if he's back out there at left tackle, that would be nothing but positive things for the Jaguars.
There's a number out there, the team's record when he starts and the team record when he doesn't start. Do you have those numbers by chance?
Not in front of me.
Okay.
But they are significant.
I think there's only one loss that this team has had when he's been in the lineup. And that's amazing because he played in that stretch. If you go back, let's go back. He first game back was with the Buffalo Bills. And then he got hurt, I believe it was in the Tennessee game, the home game against Tennessee. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-1 when he's been in the lineup. 6-1 when he's been in the lineup.
Yeah.
Now, is that happenstance? Or is that because he's really good and he's a great leader? I think it's partly both. I think part of it's happenstance, but also part of it is that he helps his football team in the attitude category.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
You know, because I think, and again, it's looking ahead. You know, we're allowed to do that here.
Yeah,
right?
we can do that.
We can look ahead to next year.
We can look ahead to wherever we wanted to look.
He's still under contract for next year.
Yeah, and that was a lot of the conversation early in the season, right? Was okay, he's out for 4 games to start the year because of this performance-enhancing drug suspension. Oh, when he comes back, I mean, you're going to have to slide him inside because Walker Little's going to be playing left tackle at a high level and this and that. And, of course, he comes back. It's like, oh, that's the reason why he's the left tackle here, right? He has a different sensibility about him, right? And it's – you know, and there was the talk, hey, you can get out of a lot of money after this season against the cap if you just get rid of him.
Why?
But why are you getting rid of good football players?
Well, where do you need that money for next year?
Right. There's all this talk about the quarterback signing and all this. Well,
I don't
do
think
that right now? Is that a priority at this moment?
I don't think so.
No.
Because I think you still got time to do that contract. And just looking ahead here, and I've said this for the last number of years, and Cam probably would be mad at me if he knew that I was saying this. I think he's the perfect right tackle. I do. I think Anton Harrison has natural left tackle feet. Natural. I mean, you heard me earlier talk about how this matchup with Brian Burns, that I feel extremely confident that Anton Harrison can handle him. I think Anton Harrison has amazing feet, and Cam does not have the feet that Anton Harrison has. But Cam has the attitude, the bulk, the size that I think most right tackles you sit there and have a desire for. Mm-hmm. And the Cincinnati Bengals this year, they went out in free agency and signed the guy from Baltimore Ravens, and then he went to Kansas City, and then they ended up signing him. Oh, gosh, I can't even remember. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. But his dad was a famous right tackle for the Baltimore Ravens back in the day, Orlando Brown.
Yeah.
So Orlando Brown goes to free agency, goes to Kansas City, and goes to Cincinnati, and then your guy from Alabama, who was a first-round pick tackle for them, what's his name?
I don't know. They moved my guy.
They moved him. Was your guy? They moved him to right tackle, and he was not happy. But you know what the Cincinnati Bengals said? It's what's best for our team. And so is that maybe what's best for this team in the future? Just looking ahead, jumping ahead, and I know a lot of people don't want to do that yet, but I don't want to let good football players go, and I think Cam Robinson's a good football player, and I think he would make an exceptional right tackle.
By the way, the official numbers, thanks to Dave DeCandis for these, by the way. Cam Robinson, when in the lineup, the Jags are 6-1 and have a plus 31 point differential. When out of the lineup, 2-6 with a minus 41 point differential.
It's amazing. And that first game he was in the lineup was the game at Tottenham, the Buffalo Bills game.
Yep.
And then the last game that he played was the at-home game against Tennessee, which I believe he got kind of rear-ended. Not friendly fire, but he had – oh, no,
he got kind of rolled from behind, right? Yeah.
Was that Houston? No, that was Houston game.
It was like a weird kind of around the pocket from the other side of the pocket got it.
It was their first-round pick defensive end.
Will Anderson.
Will Anderson ran into the back of him, I believe.
Like from the other side of the line. Yeah,
right.
Kind of a strange situation. So we'll see if they're back in the fold this week and what else could change up front. We're back in a moment, though. Jaguars defense trying to get it on track this week against another number 1 overall pick. Your guy, Bryce Young.
Yeah, he's not my guy. I like C.J. Stroud better. I told you that last year in the springtime. I told you it's a big man sport, and you don't take a 5'9", 200-pound quarterback. You don't.
5'10". He's 5'10".
That's high school measurements.
It's final game.
I would love to put him with a real measuring stick up against the wall with no shoes, no carpet. No, I don't believe it.
It's the final home game of the season. It's all about you, Jags fans. Join us this Sunday for the fan appreciation game against the Panthers. Go to Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. It's the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Calling all Jags fans. Is your little one ready to become a junior Jaguar? Now through January 2nd, MyGate rewards loyalty members who buy 2 20-ounce Coca-Cola participating products will be entered to win one of 10 behind-the-scenes experiences at Everbank Stadium for your child. Plus, you'll earn a 10-cent rollback at the pump, a win every time. Fuel your child's dreams, your car, and your passion for the Jags with Gate, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand-new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguar sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguar sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguar sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
The Doug Pederson Show presented by Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, Week 17. Panthers, Jaguars coming up at the bank this Sunday. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff time. We're on the air on the network at 12 noon with countdown to kickoff. Coming up in about 5 minutes or so, we'll hear from Fred Taylor. I caught up with him this morning, and he is a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2024. We'll get his thoughts on that coming up. The Jags defense, though, trying to get back on track here, Logs, and they have to do it against an offense in Carolina's not playing so well. Bryce Young, the number 1 overall pick in the draft this year, and they've got Adam Thielen. They've got DJ Chark at wide receiver, but it is far from an explosive group on offense in Carolina.
No, it's not. And DJ had a heck of a game last week, though, against the Green Bay Packers. Had a couple of touchdowns. Kind of got some former Jags with the Carolina organization right now. This week, by the way, just a real quick little snippet on that. Got Todd Wash, the Jaguars' former D-line coach, defensive coordinator, is their defensive line coach in Carolina. Dom Capers is a senior defensive assistant. He was here for a little while. Laviska Shenault is on injured reserve.
Yeah.
Former second-round pick for the Jaguars. He's on injured reserve for them. C.J. Henderson, former first-round pick of the Jaguars, has been inactive the last number of weeks. I think he started 6 or 7 games earlier in the season for them, and he didn't play very well. And then, obviously, DJ Chark. So, Shaq Griffin, who was with the Houston Texans earlier in the year. They released him, and Carolina picks him up. So there's a number of former Jaguar coaches and players that are going to be facing this Jaguars team. But now to bring it back in on those offensive weapons. I thought DJ had a fantastic game this past week. Fantastic game. And had, he's capable of some plays like that. And this year has been kind of a tough year for them. But they've got, if they both play well, which doesn't happen all the time because DJ sometimes is inconsistent. Thielen his teeth are getting long and getting older now.
I know what that means.
Yes.
Thank you. You didn't have to clarify
I'm just
that.
trying to – some people don't, JP, and I know sometimes you don't get those things.
It's a little long in the tooth is the way to say that.
Thielen is a good possession guy. Did you see that one-handed catch that he made this past week?
I missed that one.
He made a one-handed catch, and it was a little rollout where I can't remember if Bryce Young was scrambling or if it was a design rollout. I think it was design rollout. He throws it to Thielen, and it's an inaccurate throw. It's way out in front of Thielen. Thielen literally one hand kind of stops the momentum and then runs into the ball and pulls it in. Amazing catch. So he's still got some high-level skills. But, again, he's getting a little bit older. Chark is a little inconsistent. Their tight end position, the one guy, Tommy Tremble, had a career day last week. He had 4 catches for 59 yards. For our guy, Evan Ingram, that's just another day at the office, and that's a career day for their guy. Their running backs are just kind of so-so. They're not particularly good at yards per carry. So I don't think very much of this offense. I don't.
I can tell.
And I think the Jaguars' defense should have a really strong day.
Did we say that last week?
No, we didn't say that last week. Last week we said you got Mike Evans and Godwin on the other side with a quarterback who, oh, by the way, just went to Green Bay and threw up a perfect quarterback rating.
Okay.
That's what we were worried about, especially when Tyson Campbell hadn't been playing.
Didn't we say that a few weeks ago against the Browns, though? What was the fourth quarterback?
We did.
Flacco?
That's the week we talked kind of like this. The Jaguars they didn't do a great job. They had communication errors, JP.
They certainly did.
You better not have any communication errors this week. And you better not have any communication errors early in this game. Because if you don't, again, I'm going to go back to this. You got to have early success. If not, then all of a sudden there's going to be doubt that creeps into this football team's mind. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. That's human nature. And if you give them positive results early in this ball game, then they're going to gain confidence because they just played a tight game. And the reality is they felt good about that game. Even though they lost by 3 points, they felt good about it. And they scored the most points that they've scored all year long. So they're probably going, yeah, we're turning a corner. Give them a reason to feel that feeling again. Might be a long day for you.
In a moment, we'll hear from Fred Taylor, proud of the Jaguars running back. He's now a Pro Football Hall of Fame finalist, down to the final 15 in the modern era candidates. And 5 of those will be enshrined in Canton. We'll hear from Fred in just a moment after our conversation earlier today. It's the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
Eat like a Jag the Fresh from Florida way. Hi everyone, I'm Chef Justin. Head over to freshfromflorida.com and sign up for our loyalty club to unlock interactive perks available only to club members. It's all the great stuff you've loved about freshfromflorida.com and more. For club members, it's an interactive experience that will help you get the most out of your Fresh from Florida recipes. Enjoy all the benefits of being a member. Join the Fresh from Florida Club today.
Are you ready to elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans? Citrus Distillers, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is excited to announce the 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Now available at Total Wine and other participating retailers. Elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans. The 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Duval!
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Hey Florida, this is Luke Fortner, center for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We all know the rush of a good game, but there's no winning with aggressive driving on our roads. It's all about strategy and control. Embrace the space with the driver in front of you, go the speed limit, and use that blinker. These are the moves that make us all champions of the road. Target Zero is our game plan for safer roads and is a testament to our teamwork and dedication. Join me and let's get everyone home safely every single day.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
The Doug Pederson Show presented by Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman, glad you're with us. The Panthers and Jaguars coming up. The Jags trying to snap a 4-game losing skid. Still in first place in the AFC South. Fred Taylor, now a finalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2024, announced last night on NFL Network. 15 modern era finalists. 5 will be chosen from that list, and earlier today I caught up with Freddie T for a reaction.
Good. I feel really good, man. It hasn't it hasn't completely sunk in. Yeah, I'm thankful. I'm grateful. It's another step closer. Man, it's I try to downplay it, but at the same time, it's a big thing. But I'm happy. I guess that's all internal. I don't know how to kind of process it on the outside, because I've gotten a ton of texts, a ton of calls, a ton of people. You deserve it. The public, they're rooting for me. Social media, people I don't know, they're rooting for me. So it makes you feel great, right? It makes you feel really good about it all. I know it's still a lot of work to be done, but what we asked for was an opportunity to be in the room. And this gives us that opportunity. I think that now the 50 selectors, they have an opportunity to understand or get to know who Fred Taylor was as a player, as a person, maybe understand that I don't have as many touchdowns because I was taken out on a 1 or 2 a few times because I was that type of teammate. Or maybe understand that I faced the best defenses and coaches in a particular division early on, and my career wasn't a one-off. It was fairly consistent, minus the injuries. That's one of the bigger things, highlights. Truly unfortunate, but that was because of how I played the game. But when you look at some consistency, the 7 1,000-yard rushing seasons, my yard per carry average, I do have 66 touchdowns. Not a ton, but there's a lot of touchdowns there. And some other stuff. I played against some amazing Hall of Famers who can actually vouch for my career. And when you talk about the eye test, and I'll say this, and we can wrap up Hall of Fame talk, JP. When Jim Brown said Taylor he's my best favorite back to watch. He's my guy. I think that should, wrap up and solidify the eye test category. I don't believe the selectors need to hear from anyone else when it comes to the eye test part. And the rest, they can get it from the guys that I actually played against, or the coaches and front office people that coached against me. They knew what I brought to the table when I showed up on Sunday.
Fred Taylor with us. How did you find out?
Well, if I tell you, I might have to hurt you, JP. Yesterday, I had been working with Sam throughout this process, and Sam called me. He said, "I think we got a shot." He went to spill the beans. He said, "Hey, look, I think we got a shot." And then last night he called me again. He was like, "This thing is going to go on at 8:00." I was like, "Okay, what is he saying? Is he saying I should tune in?" But I fell asleep because I drove back 9 hours from Destin from a Christmas trip. So I slept through the entire thing, much like I had done in the past. I didn't know what would come of it. But again, I woke up to a couple hundred text messages, and that was how I found out.
That's Fred Taylor, pride of the Jaguars running back, now a Hall of Fame finalist. And, he's now one of 15 logs, and this is going to be a fun little while here.
Yeah, I'm proud of him, and very, very deserving. He is one of the truly great Jaguars in history. Texted him early today, told him congratulations, and we had a great little text exchange back and forth, and hoping to celebrate his induction at some point in the future. I don't know if it's going to happen this year or in years to come, but there's some great candidates, and he is one of the great candidates.
He's the only running back of the candidates this year.
Yeah, and that's positive. And there's some great candidates. There's some first timers that are on that list that are amazing players. Darrelle Revis, Dwight Freeney, the Julius Peppers, Carolina Panthers. And Julius Peppers is a guy, I think, 4th all-time in sacks, just on my mind because the Carolina Panthers are coming to town. One of the great players in the history of the league, played a very long time, and to be able to get 149.5 sacks, oh, my God, it's a crazy number.
Here are the 15 finalists. Eric Allen, cornerback of the Eagles, Saints, and Raiders. Jared Allen, defensive end from the Chiefs, Vikings, Bears, and Panthers. Willie Anderson, offensive tackle, Bengals and Ravens. Jerry Evans, a guard from the Saints and the Packers. Dwight Freeney, of course, for the Colts forever, Chargers, Cardinals, Falcons, Seahawks, Lions. Antonio Gates, tight end. Rodney Harrison, a safety. Devin Hester, punt returner, kick returner, and wide receiver. Torrey Holt, wide receiver. Andre Johnson, wide receiver for the Texans for a long time. Julius Peppers, Fred Taylor. Reggie Wayne of the Colts. Patrick Willis, linebacker of the Niners, and Darren Woodson, safety for the Cowboys.
Some great names.
Oh, yeah.
Great names.
All deserving.
Joe Thomas was a guy that played a long time and was a really good pass protector. But here's the thing, and I like Joe Thomas. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Of the Browns, yes.
He's no Tony Baselli. I'm here to tell you that right now. If you're trying to put it this way, if I'm building a football team and I've got a choice of Tony Baselli or Joe Thomas at left tackle, there's not even a doubt in my mind it's Tony Baselli. Tony was that much better than a Joe Thomas. And Joe Thomas, good football player for a long time. But he's not in the same category of Baselli. But some great names on there. Dwight Freeney, Ronnie Barber, Jared Allen. Jared Allen I'm a huge fan of. Played the position, obviously. Just like Julius Peppers, I'm a big fan.
Fresh from Florida is proud to partner with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Eat like a Jag when you choose Fresh from Florida. Plenty more ahead when we return. Some playoff scenarios. The Jags could clinch this Sunday, the AFC South. This is the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Calling all Jags fans. Is your little one ready to become a junior Jaguar? Now through January 2nd, MyGate rewards loyalty members who buy 2 20-ounce Coca-Cola participating products will be entered to win one of 10 behind-the-scenes experiences at Everbank Stadium for your child. Plus, you'll earn a 10-cent rollback at the pump, a win every time. Fuel your child's dreams, your car, and your passion for the Jags with Gate, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
Jaguars fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and Jaguars players you love. Shop the most trusted brands, exclusive designs by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars. Join Fanatics Rewards today and earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every single play. And you'll find the same when you bank with Everbank. You've worked hard for your money. So if you're ready to up your financial game, it's time to choose Everbank. Everbank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Earn your advantage at everbank.com/Jaguars.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
And the Doug Pederson Show is presented by Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. J.P. Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. Week 17, the Carolina Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars with a 1 o'clock kickoff time at the bank. And the home finale for the regular season. Well, the Jaguars have a scenario where they can clinch the AFC South this Sunday. The Jaguars must win, and the Texans must lose, and the Colts must lose. And the Jaguars will be passing out shirts and hats after the game on Sunday if that were to happen. Either way, if the Jaguars win and one of those other two teams wins or they both win, then it's status quo. You move on to next week. If the Jaguars win, they would be the division champs next week. So 2 wins, you can win and be fine no matter what happens. But it can be clinched as early as this week. Or you put yourself behind the 8 ball, so to speak. If you lose and both of those teams win, you could say goodbye to the division, and then you're hoping like heck for a wild card.
I hope everybody wins this week. Make it exciting.
Moving on down.
Yeah, make it exciting.
I'd rather go ahead and get it over with.
I know you would.
I mean, honestly,
no,
get it done this week.
No, I get what you're saying, but I mean, to me, I mean, that's the excitement of the NFL, is that it comes down to the wire, just like it did last year. I mean, it made last year so unique and special. And why not have it be that way again? You know, with the same kind of matchup that's on the table, but a little different in terms of, you know, who has the ability to get in or not. I got nullified on that.
You got buzzed out of that.
I got buzzed out.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, I like. And here's the other thing that I like about that scenario. Okay, no buzzer allowed here on this one.
Okay.
The reason I like that, it would mean that you have won 2 games to get in, and you've created some momentum for yourself. That's why I like that scenario the best.
Yeah, and that's the correct answer. Well done.
I appreciate the positive ding.
It would be back-to-back division titles for the Jaguars. The only other time they've done that was 98 and 99. And think about like the Patriots, right? I mean, they had this great dynasty and quarterback and coach and things. They won 11 straight AFC East titles.
Some
at one
guy
point.
by the name of Tom.
Right, but that's a different level of back-to-backness, right?
That's,
if you will. Is that a word?
It's
Backness?
unprecedented.
But I mean, that would be an accomplishment for the Jaguars, back-to-back division titles, and then you can build upon that moving forward.
The goal is to be a competitive team year in and year out. And you can look at the New England franchise in that era of Tom and Bill, which was, I don't think there's ever going to be repeated in the National Football League in its history. I don't think. But every time it seems like you say that, then records get broken anyway. But in today's day and age, that's so incredibly hard. If you looked at the organizations in the National Football League not right now as like model franchises, who would you model this team after? Baltimore? With John Harbaugh, right?
They're consistent.
Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin.
They always have a winning record or better.
Patriots with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, although things haven't been great.
Not lately.
But you can't, I mean, the greatest team ever is that era, that stretch that New England had. But, I mean, San Francisco has done a great job lately.
I mean, the Chiefs.
With Lynch and Shanahan, the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes and the guy that wants to steal the Nuggies.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great
It's a great commercial, by
Love
the
that.
way.
Yeah, how about them Nuggies?
Andy Reid.
And then, I mean, that's what it is. The Bills have kind of taken over the East, but, hey, that's in the AFC. So those are the teams that you felt like at the end of the playoffs last year you were trying to compete with and be with, is the Chiefs and the Bills and those perennial playoff teams. And right now, at least from the last month, it's like, oh, gosh, can we even get to the dance again?
It's, you haven't played very well. As good as this defense has been, go back to this again, as good as this defense has been at taking the ball away, that things have dried up a little bit in that category lately, which that also has been part of the reason why you're in a 4-game losing streak. But most importantly, offensively, the mistakes that you've made in turning the ball over is the main reason why. You've got to clean that up. The defense, ton of takeaways on the season, 25, but the offense has turned the ball over 28 times. 28 times this year. That's the number you got to stop the bleeding with that number.
Bootleggers, get ready. Luke Combs is bringing 2 nights of the Growing Up and Getting Old tour to the bank May 3rd and 4th, 2024. Different special guests each night. Tickets on sale now. Visit everbankstadium.com. Can't wait for that. That'll be fun.
That'll be a good one.
We're back in a moment. Our final thoughts ahead of Week 17. This is the Doug Pederson Show on Jaguars Radio.
Eat like a Jag the fresh from Florida way. Hi everyone, I'm Chef Justin. Head over to freshfromflorida.com and sign up for our loyalty club to unlock interactive perks available only to club members. It's all the great stuff you've loved about freshfromflorida.com and more. For club members, it's an interactive experience that will help you get the most out of your Fresh from Florida recipes. Enjoy all the benefits of being a member. Join the Fresh from Florida Club today.
The kick is up. It's good!
Score winning sub deals this Jaguars regular season at Firehouse Subs. Get 2 medium subs for just $10 after any game when the Jaguars kick a field goal of 40 yards or more. It's a bold deal for the bold city. Sign up at firehousesubs.com/field goals for Firehouse for offer details and to automatically receive this offer when you use your Firehouse Subs rewards account. Redeemable only at participating Jacksonville and Orlando area restaurants. Only available on the Firehouse Subs app and online ordering.
Are you ready to elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans? Citrus Distillers, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is excited to announce the 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Now available at Total Wine and other participating retailers. Elevate your tailgate experience, Jaguars fans. The 2023 Jaguars Limited Edition Whiskey Bottle. Duval!
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, Everbank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguar sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguar sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguar sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Welcome back. The Doug Pederson Show continues right now.
The Doug Pederson Show presented by Fresh from Florida. Food tastes better when it's grown closer to home. The Jaguars entertain the Carolina Panthers this Sunday, 1 o'clock. Johnson & Johnson, the sponsor of the game this Sunday. The makers of AccuView brand contact lenses, making vision possible. Proudly based in Jacksonville. Visit jjvision.com. Jags have dropped 4 straight. That's got to stop, and we've said that for 4 straight games.
Well, it's not going to be easy to get back on the winning side of things. And, even though I was saying earlier that this is the worst team in football, you should win. That's why they play the games on the National Football League. And I think the Carolina Panthers are going to come in a little bit confident.
Yeah, why not?
Look, they were able to put up 30 against the Green Bay Packers. They fought until the end. Their quarterback had his best game yet as a pro. So I think they're going to feel good about themselves in that category. They got a win a couple games ago, which was only their second of the season. So I think they're going to feel good about themselves. But if you're the Jaguars, you have to win this game. Got to win.
Got to have it.
Got to have it for so many different reasons. So many different reasons.
All right, Logs. All Access TV tonight.
Question real quick.
Yeah, what?
Does Trevor play or not?
I don't know.
I don't either.
We'll find out when maybe at game time.
Tomorrow, injury report.
Maybe
it's a big one.
Keep an eye on that. All Access TV tonight. Guest?
We have Antonio Johnson, the talented rookie who has been starting essentially at nickel.
7 o'clock, Fox 30. Be there. String Sports Brewery in Springfield. For our entire crew, David Cho, Brent Reber, Joe Fortunato, Jeff Lageman. I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for listening to the Doug Pederson Show on the Jaguars Radio Network.